Good morning, everyone. I know that I'm running a little bit behind this morning. I was out on travel this weekend, and so that heat kind of got next to me, and so I was drained when I got in on yesterday, and I still a little drained, not as bad as I was, because that's a different kind of heat down there in Louisiana. It was hot. It was hot. But so I'm running a little late this morning because my body wanted to get up, but my strength level was saying, "Hold on a minute." But I did want to get on here briefly and just kind of share some words of inspiration with you this morning before I get ready to get out of here to go down to the office. As something that took place on yesterday on our way back home, coming back home from being out on travel, as we got closer to home, we ran into a direction that we would normally go to come home. It was we found out when we hit that part of our destination that road was closed down. So immediately you have to start trying to make a decision on which roads to take in order to get home. And what came to my mind was when God denies access. That came to my mind as we were figuring out our way, how we was going to get off of that road and onto another road to get us back home. So access denied. But any time that God denies access, whatever in your life has been denied, you have to look at it as he's taking you in another direction for his own purpose. Instead of getting frustrated, because you all know when you're traveling and then you got to take a detour, you got to go a way that you just not familiar with. And so now you've got to go into crisis mode and try to start making instant decisions. But I'm thankful for the GPS as well, that lady that talks to you from that satellite. But here's my thing. When God denies access to your life, when people are either trying to come into your life or you're trying to bring people in your life that God just knows that's not what he wants in your life and for your life. Good morning, Gail. This is when we have to pull out our tools to think in analytical thinking, critical thinking, all of those things that fall in that category that repositions you to look at the situation differently than you would have if that access wasn't denied. There is so very often, and we can all say that that have lived a while, that things have been denied for us. Whether it could be a credit card or a line of credit, it could be just going to a certain function, but somehow you got distracted or deterred away from it for whatever the reason, because sometimes God have to put some blockages there in our way so that we will stop, because we won't stop on our own. It's something that he does because he knows that some trouble could lie ahead for us in our lives. I hope y'all understand me when I say this morning. In relative to traveling, yes, that road that we were used to taking to get back home, access access to that road was denied. How does that relate to your life and my life? There's some roads, there's some decisions, there's some things that we want to take on in our life, and God says access is denied. I can't let you have that credit card because you are not disciplined yet to know how to handle that. That's going to get you in some trouble. You're going to overspend. And then when you get one, you're going to start getting another. See, he have to deny us some access because we have not matured to that level of handling what we're trying to get. It's the same thing about people in your life. Sometimes he can't give you access to them because you will become too comfortable and you'll start listening to everything those individuals say rather than what God said, or rather than what your foundation, people that have been in your life that have always wanted good for you, have always wanted prosperity for you, have always wanted growth for you. You will stop listening to those individuals if he gives you access, allows access to some of the people that you're trying to get in your life, that he just saying, I'm not going to let them have access to you, and I'm not going to let you have access to them because I know how that's going to turn out. I know that these people can destroy you. I know that these people don't have good intentions for you. See, I know that. So I'm going to deny access. We all are traveling some roads in life that sometimes God has to deny access because that's the wrong road. He won't even let you get up there on that bridge. He won't even let you get on 45 sometimes. He got to back it up so that you can say, you know what, I can't go down there, so I'm going to take this detour. And so you go through some neighborhood road to get to Highway 3 or wherever you at. See, he's denying you access because he knows what's down the road. And what's down the road is going to hold you up. You can say what you want to say, but what's down that road is going to hold you up. What that thing that you wanted on that road that you trying to go down, God said, I'm going to deny you access because it's some mean-spirited people on that road. It's some people that want to destroy you, and they looking at you and they laughing with you and they telling you that they love you, but all the while they are set in place to destroy you. So I'm going to deny them access because I know what you don't know. I know. See, God knows what you don't know. Sometimes you walking around sad with your head hung down because there's some people that you want in your life, but for whatever reason, God won't give you access to them, and he won't let them have access to you. And that's why some of those that you have in your life, he have to move them out of your life because he already know that thing not going to be good for you. It's not going to work out for you. It's not going to work out. Some relationships are designed not to work out for you. And even though you don't know it, God knows it. And what he's saying is just like when he was taking us on that detour on yesterday. I'm going to access this road and take y'all down another road. And I've supplied a tool to get you where you need to go, because that GPS is going to tell you exactly how to get back on track. He designed everything. He designed everything. He designed every one of us. Scripture say that he knew us when we was in our mother's womb. He knew you was going to be here and where you was going to be and how you was going to want to live and how he wanted you to live. But whenever things don't work out the way that you think that they should, just know this one thing: God denied access for a reason. Because our own self, we want things. We want things that we know they no good for us. We stay in relationships and friendships and all just trying to pull people in our lives that God is trying to warn you that you're at the end of the road with this. I'm not going to give no more access because this thing is taking you down. This thing is taking, even when, because I was attending a funeral this weekend, but even when one of my nieces that was there, we were having a conversation, and I'm not going to go into the conversation we was having, but it was very brief and to the point, okay? My response to her. And we got to talking about enemies. See, one thing about it, and I'm going to say this because I really live in this manner, and sometimes I too get distracted, but I have to remind myself. Whenever the enemy is coming after you, the best way to get rid of your enemy is you starve them to death. She said, "Hey, Lecturer, what do you mean?" When somebody sends you something, let's do this Facebook thing, since that's what we talking about, or emails or whatever, social media. Whenever somebody sends a message across to you, and you know that person is taking a dig at you, okay? See, the way that you handle that thing, the way that you handle that situation, you handle that individual, you don't even respond. You starve them to death. I don't care what they say. Starve them to death. You never have a response. Even if you see them in person somewhere, and you know that they got a target out for you, and you know that whatever they try to do towards you or say to you is something to be hurtful towards you. But see, not only do you not give them access to you, I'm not just going to say just don't give them access. What I'm going to tell you to do is starve them to death. Don't even respond to your enemies. I don't care if it's just a gesture they make towards you and an uncomfortable gesture they make towards you. You starve them to death. You act like you don't even see them. They there. You know they there. They know that they're there in the physical, but you got to starve them to death. Don't respond. You never respond to your enemy, because every time you respond, you are putting gas in their tank to go a little bit further to try to destroy you. Why would you give gas to a vehicle that you're not going to even drive? Why you going to do for that? Why you going to do that? Why you going to pay for somebody else to take their car and run over you? Why would you do that? You got to stop. That's for all of us. Allowing people to have access in your life when you know it's only for destructive purposes. You already know it. You know why I know you know it? Because God said, I'm not going to never leave you. I'm not going to never forsake you. He says, I sit high and I look low. And if you believe within your heart of hearts that God loves you, that God takes care of you, that God created you, that everything you need, he got it, why would you feed your enemy and tell him it's okay that what he or she does to you just because you want them to have access to you and you want to have access to them? You starve them to death. Don't you never feed your enemy. How you might say, well, I don't do that. I mean, you know how we make up these excuses, or we can make up some excuses, but you know in your heart of hearts, right now you got some people in your life that you are feeding, and you know them people are your enemies. You know it. Don't nobody have to tell. You know why you know it? Because you know how they treat you. You know how they have those selective relationships with you. They want to be around you sometimes, and sometimes they don't want to be around you. Sometimes they enjoy your phone calls. Sometimes they just acting like, they're doing that avoidance thing with you. Sometimes, what we used to say back in the day, I used to hear my parents say that's your ace coon boom. You say that back in the day, right? My daddy used to say that all the time. We trying to act like we forgot. No, you remember your foundation. You remember where you came from. You ain't been no Christian all your life. You remember some things because those things were part of your foundation to get you to where you are right now. And there are some people that your mother and your father, no matter how old you are, you can remember some things that your mother and your father told you and you didn't do them. And you went right ahead on and tried to get access to the very people, to the very things that they told you not to. And that thing ended up changing your life forever because you wanted access. But when God says access denied, let me tell you something. You ain't going to get on that road. I don't care how you want to. And you know what? If you do find a way to get over the block that he puts there, because we will find a way to get to, it's just like today. I'm going to say this right quick. It's just like today. We don't want to be around nothing or get excited about anything unless it's bad news. It's like people have an urge for bad news. That's how your news channels, that's why they ratings, they have to get that news, the worst news they can find out there, because that's what people are going to gravitate to. And you know what? We do. Listen to this. We do find ourselves gravitating towards the worst things instead of celebrating towards the better things that God wants for us. In case you missed it, I want to say that again. We find ourselves, we want to gravitate towards the bad things. And we move away from the better things that he wants for us. It's some opportunities out there for you to access. He done already paved the way for you. But you know what? You comfortable where you are. See, if you want to do better, you got to get around people that want better. You can't stay where you are. I don't care how it hurts. You can't stay where you are and think you're going to get to better. Because where you are wants to keep you where you are. And every time God deny you access, you still got this on your mind. He didn't move you 10 steps down the road and you still trying to go back to ground zero. That don't make sense. It don't make sense to us this morning, and it sure don't make sense to God. Whenever he denies you access, people, he's not saying, oh, life is over for you. What he's saying is, I'm moving you to better. I'm moving you to better. I'm going to starve your enemies. I'm trying to show you how to starve them out. In other words, you don't respond to them. Why you keep talking with the ungodly? Why you keep sitting in the seat of the scornful? Why you keep doing that? Why you keep giving people access to your life that you know they're not going to do nothing but try to destroy you to the best of their ability? Why you going to do that? I got blessings over there, but you want to stay over here where you at. Your blessings is over there, but you keep trying to go back there. Your blessings is in the front of you. They in the front of you. You be on the edge of your blessing. But you got to go back and call Call up the old things in life. You got to go back and see what everybody's still doing back there on the corner. He moved you from the corner. You know them spots. That's what kids call them today. We're going to find us a spot. We got a spot. We're going down to the spot. You know, see, we don't listen to these young people, but you need to listen to them. Because if you don't listen to them, you don't know what's going on. I will always remember this from my late husband, something that he told me, a pastor of over 32 plus years. He said, why people struggle today. Now, this is a man of God telling me this. He said, as a man of God, I have to be honest. Why many churches struggle today is because they're not talking about what the streets talking about. You got to talk about what the streets talking about. If the street is talking about the drug increase, why you not talking about it? And it's a way that God can put in the mouths of men and women of God to talk about it where it will make a difference instead of just sitting up complaining about it. You beat people down. That's why people don't want to come to us, because we beating them up instead of talking to them. See, God gave some people some access to you. He gave some people some access to you because you just like that fish with that corn in his mouth. God put some words in your mouth that you're supposed to be helping people with. He gave you them words. Just like he give me words, he give each and every one of you words that's in your mouth. But you taking it and you baiting people down with it instead of doing what you're supposed to do with it, because anytime you talk down to me, I'm going to get away from you. But if you talk to me like I got some sense, I'm going to listen. That's a fact of life. You've lived it. I've lived it. We might not want to hear what mom and daddy said, but it's the way that they said it. It's the way that they said it. And to this day, you can say that when those conversations they had with you, they was telling the truth. They were telling the truth. I know my mom and dad, they gave us the best that they could with what they had. But the most valuable thing they gave us was their wisdom. You can't get tired of talking to your children and your grandchildren. You can't throw in the towel on them. Even if they don't want to listen to it, you tell them anyway. Because down the line, they're going to pick it up. They're going to remember it. It's just in their Pandora box. And when God gives you access to people, you should not be taking those opportunities to tear them people down. He gives you access so that you can do something to help them, something to encourage them, something to make them think about what they're doing. But if you just hollering and screaming all the time, so you saying God gave you access just to holler and scream at people. Let me tell you something. Whether it's me or you, God can deny some access. He can deny you some access to some roads, and you all of us know that he has, that you want to go down. He deny you access because he knows what's on the other side. And when he don't allow people to have access to you, stop beating yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. And start utilizing those analytical skills that you have and those critical skills that you have. God ain't going to do nothing to you that's going to hurt you. But he is telling you, just like he gave me a long time ago. the way to deal with your enemies. You don't give them access. You starve them to death. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they say. Do not respond. Keep it moving, because there are better days ahead for you. All right. I just wanted to get on here this morning and briefly share that with you. I know I was running a little behind, but like I said, we were traveling on yesterday and that heat was just horrible. And I'm going to say this too, y'all, watch this heat out. If you don't have to be out here in it, don't be out here in it. That's some killer heat out there. And we all know all this climate change and this ozone levels and all of this stuff that's going on, it's impacting us because we live in this world. You got to have sense enough, all of us, to know that I got to take care of myself. And I got to do what's right for the moment. All right, I'm going to get off of here and finish getting ready for this job. Y'all have a wonderful day. And watch your access. Watch who you give it to. And watch who you allow to try to get access to your life. Start starving them enemies. They'll leave you alone. Bye-bye.